In this episode, we discuss adult content, sexually suggestive language, and topics. We recommend not listening with children in the car and probably not safe for work. Listener discretion is advised.
The thoughts and opinions on Just Some Podcast are of the hosts and guests and do not represent the views of organizations that employ them or they volunteer for. They are also not responsible for spontaneous black holes or nuclear wars that may occur. You have been warned.
Welcome, everybody, to another fun-filled and exciting episode of Just Some Podcast. This is Tom.
Hey, this is Ben. Tom, bud, how's it going, man?
Not gonna lie, I've had better days. You know that saying, don't ever meet your idols?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I kind of felt like that today. I won't get into specifics for a bunch of reasons, but basically I went somewhere for some orientation and it turned into a mess. So we'll just leave it at that. So it's not been the best day I've ever had. How has your day been? Since I already know how it is, I just want to hear what you're going to say, though.
It's been a long day, Tom. It's been a long day. Started with me texting you this morning, blaming you for what I was going through, but it's okay because all those multiple jobs that I have, they all kind of collided. So
yeah. Well, first of all, that's your fault that you have multiple jobs. And second of all, I guess I do take some of the blame for you getting a phone call at 4 a.m. That's just makes me giddy and happy on the inside, knowing I can imagine your face at 4 a.m. getting up. So that's just, super fun.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
It is all good. That sleepy tone in his voice. That's not just dulcet sounds, my friends.
No,
that's
I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready for bed. It'll be all right. We're going
is super tired.
The red light's on, so we are going to be positive and happy and ready to go for this podcast. Speaking of which, Tom, I believe that you have a guest that we need to introduce, correct?
I do. Thank you very much. I am super excited to introduce our guest tonight, PollyAnna. She is a super amazing chick. I have had the good fortune to know her for a couple of years now. And yeah, PollyAnna, do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, hello, fellas. I am PollyAnna, and thanks for the positive in there. Ben, talking about being positive, you got the right PollyAnna here. So I am PollyAnna. I am a nurse practitioner. I have been in the nursing field for the last 30 years. I love nursing. It's one of my passions. But
you've been a nurse for 30 years?
I've been in nursing. I was started as a nurse aide at 16. Not to give away my awesome age, but I don't look 46. I'm still kicking it really well. All those years of night shift have never done me wrong.
Tom's trying to do the math in his head. He's like, wait a minute, carry the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Divide by 7. No, So I know her. There is no way I would have ever guessed she could have possibly been a nurse for 30 years. So, I mean, that's kudos to you.
In nursing, let's say in nursing. I've only been a nurse, LPN and on for the last 20 years. But close enough. not gonna be mad at it. But yeah, so I am a nurse practitioner. I love it, and I also, side note, am a Tibetan Tantrika. I teach Buddhist practices for Tibetan Tantra, and I enjoy every moment of it. I am also a certified sex educator. And also a certified emergency nurse. I still throw that in there because once an ER nurse, always an ER nurse.
That's true.
Roger that.
That's right.
Well, and I think sometimes it's good to have that mixture because as that CEN, when they come in with some weird sexual injury, you can be like, yeah, I know, done that. Been
Well, I'm
there.
That's
going to tell you,
position 43.
practicing in the urgent care setting that I do now, STD testing and education is huge, or STIs now, as the young kids call it. That's definitely something that that this, sex education part has really been beneficial for.
But that is why we have PollyAnna on the show, is because, we are trying to highlight some odd jobs that are in healthcare. And so we thought that sex educator and, was it Tibetan tantric specialist?
Oh, I am a Tantrika. Yeah, I am.
That was Tantrika, yo.
Tantrika.
Tantrika,
I
yo,
like
that's right.
Tantrika. All right.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of Tantrika with a Kentucky accent, but I sure got it.
I haven't, but I kind of want to make my Xbox gamer tag Tantrika now.
I think you should.
Tomtrika. We're gonna practice.
Tom
Oh,
Trika.
do you see what I just did?
Oh, yeah.
I know. Wait till I get off the air. I'm gonna go
Oh my
down.
God.
Hey, wife, you want to practice some Tomtrika? She's gonna be like, "Are you been drinking? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?" Oh man, we're only 6 minutes into this show. We're going off the rails. I can feel it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a show.
All right. So since Miss PollyAnna says she has tried to listen to a couple episodes, but she's still pretty much, it is a sex education episode, right? So I'm going to use sex terms. So she's pretty much a JSP virgin. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go forward. So this is the point of the show. This is Ben's favorite part of the show, Tantrika, where he is going to do his social media shout out. So Ben, do you want to regale her with your what would we say here, social media rap? Like, what do you got going on here?
Sure, yeah, we can. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Just Some Podcast. You can find us on the web. We're at www.justsomepodcast.com. You can also find us on our podcast hosting device, that is justsomepodcast.libsyn.com. And we're on Helium Radio Network. That's Helium Radio After Dark, Channel 2. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Don't forget, Tom, we're also on YouTube. And if you want to be on the show, or you got some cool shit you want to tell us, admin at justsomepodcast.com. Tom, what else can they do?
Well, first of all, they can give us some ratings, reviews. They can tell their friends and family about us. They can also go to our website. At the bottom, there's an Amazon affiliate link. They can click on that. It takes them to Amazon. They can shop for free. I'm sure they're going to be one of buying some marital aids or sex toys or something after they listen to this episode. So feel free.
Absolutely.
To buy that 24-pack of C-cell batteries at Amazon with our affiliate link when you're done with this. PollyAnna, do you have some awesome social media or anything you want to shout out?
You can find my website at pleasurepathways.com. I also have a little social media presence on Facebook and Instagram. It's at Pleasure Pathways. So find me on Pleasure Pathways at Facebook. Most definitely. I am generally listed as PollyAnna Amazing because that's who I am. PollyAnna Amazing.
It's kind of like the Tantrika. Yeah.
I am kind of like PollyAnna Amazing.
I like where this is going.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so the giggling part is all a part of how I start with the talking about sexual practices. People get a little nervous. So I'm going to let that soak in.
So we're going to be giggling like 13-year-olds.
I got a scented candle going.
That's
I got the lights turned down.
Setting up sacred space for yourself is a paramount part of getting your whole entire sexual experience. You've got to do the sight, sound, taste, touch. It's all those things.
Ooh. Don't tell us too much yet.
I'm not.
I don't think Tom has sacred space to touch himself, but
hold on a second. Hold on a second. One at a time.
Nice breeze. That's all you need.
That's a nice breeze. That's what Ben calls it when he farts under a blanket.
Oh my gosh.
I took a drink and about spit that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I can see Ben, and that was perfect timing. Like, I didn't do that on purpose, but I did, and I saw him kick his head back, trying not to spit on the microphone. So that's, there you go. Ooh, spit on the microphone. That even sounds dirty now. So This
You know,
whole episode.
you
Oh
can
yeah, I
absolutely
can't
take
wait.
any comment and turn it into something sexual in nature. I'm very proficient in that. Absolutely.
Well, your background is you did ER
Yeah.
as well,
Oh
correct?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 20
Yeah,
years
so
in
there
the
you
ER.
go. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
that CEN. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is matches made in heaven right here. So, all right. Ben, I know you got a story for us. Or do you have a story for us?
I do have a story for you, Tom, and I figured I was going to go with the theme of the evening.
Ooh.
I'm excited.
So, so is this guy. So, in our story that you may have missed, Tom, there is a New York man who has an exceedingly rare permanent boner.
Wow, is that the name of the condition? Permanent boner?
CBS New York is reporting that doctors in the Bronx are baffled when they seen an exceedingly rare medical condition. He showed up to the emergency room after a fall and was complaining of some knee pain. They did some x-rays on his pelvis and his lower extremities, and they were able to identify that he has a very rare case of ossification or abnormal formation of bone in the penile region. So,
Shut up.
I'm sorry, penile ossification remains a relatively rare condition, being mentioned in approximately less than 40 cases, very few journals. However, the gentleman left the hospital shortly thereafter, AMA, and that's kind of where the story is.
Wow.
So he's got a
extremely
got a
interesting.
permanent boner.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things.
There's so many questions.
Yeah. I mean, because your first thought is oh, so you've had an erection longer than 4 hours, are we gonna have to manually aspirate? And then you hit a bone when you go to that changes everything.
I just want to know the science behind how does that work,
Yeah, exactly. There's no bone to start ossifying. So where did that come from?
I wonder if it's more calcification.
Well, ossification of that's
okay, but okay, even if he's calcified, generally there's a collection point that starts.
Did you say calcificated?
Okay. Calcifying.
Well, I mean, like that spongy tissue, that corpus cavernosum, that spongy tissue that helps, that gets filled up with blood to cause an erection. I mean, just like anything else, I suppose, could get calcified. That would make sense.
And you had to think that he knew that he had this.
Yeah, but if I had a superpower, I would say, first of all, how would he not know? But of course, that woman last week said she didn't know she had drugs in her vagina. So, there's all sorts of things.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a wonder, like, did that hurt his knee? Is that why his knee was hurting when he fell? That's something to think about, guys.
No, because we would all know about this guy. If he had a permanent bone erection and it hurt his knee, trust me, we would know this guy's name by now. Like, that's a thing.
He'd be in the movies.
Yeah, he would be in a lot of movies.
Well, you know how you have to kind of feel sad for him, though. You have to feel sad for him. What kind of life does he get enjoyment out of that? You don't know.
I'm a guy.
See, you have to think about that.
I don't feel sorry for him at all.
I get it.
I kind of want to shake his hand and give him a salute. Just walk off yep, he's a man. There you go.
But I would suspect that, like I said, he probably was obviously aware that he had this condition. And once they x-rayed his pelvis, he knew that they were going to find it, and he probably didn't want to be poked and prodded on, so to speak. So I would assume probably why he took
my guess is that in the ER, this is my guess, is what happened is he heard all of the people talking about him. That's my guess. And he's like, peace out. I'm not listening to this. I don't, I'm out.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you saying that an ER nurse would talk about that?
I mean, I personally, again, felt some empathy for this gentleman. So it would not have probably been me, but there might be could I see myself giggling if somebody else said something? It's a possibility. I'm not going to rule that out completely because I'm not in that situation, but I could possibly say that might be a thing.
Empathy.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I'm thinking more like jealousy and admiration. Like, oh, yeah.
See, you can't be jealous. You don't know. It might be painful or something,
So what if you get no feeling
you just
out of
took
it,
the
Tom?
guy route immediately.
What if it was just like a dildo that was just there?
See, and
Okay.
maybe he doesn't have
You
feeling.
guys are arguing moot points, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if it's hitting my knee, if it's clacking my patella, and it's a bone on bone at that level, I don't care if I can't feel anything at all. I'd still be like, you know what I got down here? I got a calcification. Yeah. Or I got an ossification. Sorry, I used the wrong term there. I'm just saying, like, absolutely.
Well, Tom, I was hard up for news, so I thought I would find that story and thought I'd share that with you.
Did you just say you were hard up for news?
Ah.
You forgot to tell him to get the drums. That's right.
Yeah. I would wear gym shorts every day. We're just saying. There you go.
You're adorable.
There you go.
No, he's not. Don't tell him that. Don't encourage him.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm just making my way down to the river. I have to go rowing. So there you go.
You'd be like the guy, was it Dangle on Rescue 911 or Reno 911 that wore the shorts all the time? Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't wear low ones. Just be like, that makes it more impressive. Well, those are regulation gym shorts.
Can we get into the
If your boots were high enough, Tom, it wouldn't matter. You know, like, did he wear the little white boots with those shorts? But if you had some high boots, you'd be okay. That's right.
No. Nope. Tom, you know it's snowing, right? Yeah, well, man's got to do what man's got to do, wearing shorts. So, all right. So Ben, Ben's wondering how much editing he's going to have to do now. So pass that off to, where's old Sam, the producer on this episode, huh? So
probably playing PUBG.
Probably. So,
all right,
let's. You said it.
The main topic.
Lead the way, Ben.
No, you please, sir. Go ahead. You're the Tom Tantric.
Tantrika.
I'll figure it out eventually.
All right, so now here we go, Miss PollyAnna. What exactly got you interested or started down this path of sex education?
Well, of course, everybody loves sex. Everybody loves sex, right? I mean, like, that's not even a thing.
Yes.
And personally, I have been married a couple times. Well, let's say 3 times. And after being married for so many years to a particular person, sometimes the spark kind of falls away. It's not like everyday life doesn't get in the way of your sexuality, because it totally does. Kids, work, just stress, period, of life gets in the way. So where I was in, a couple years ago thinking, I'm this nurse practitioner, what holistic type of things can I start, looking towards to see what I would want to do later on? And how can I incorporate that into my life personally? So, of course, you could read every book from now until the end of time about Buddhist Tantra, there's Neo-Tantra, there's so many different Tantras out there that are, just plain sexual practices, and that is not necessarily what I was looking for. I was looking for more of a practice that I could do that would expand my knowledge, not only in my personal life, but also something I could take with me to work and put in my little bag of fun tricks to tell people about, because we always talk about how we want to, we're working on with that mind, body, and soul, right? We're always talking about how can we help people help themselves? Well, what better way to help somebody than to help them have a better sex life, because it's such a taboo topic and there's so much guilt around it that it's really difficult to even get people, like we were talking earlier, you just have to giggle like you're a 12-year-old sometimes when people say things like penis or vagina, just because that's how we are trained, and that's just a part of life, right? That's what we're trying to do. But so I got into that practice basically for a couple reasons, mostly because I wanted to have amazing relationship with my husband, and also to be able to bring that back and to tell my friends, and my family hates it when I start talking about it, just so you know, but definitely so that I don't know about you guys, but if you were raised in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, you're not going to get this grandiose sex talk about things that you should know in your life. You're going to get the God told you that not to touch yourself because that's dirty, and you'll learn it when you get married, that kind of thing. So that's where I'm at with that. Definitely, that's kind of what got me into it. And then my husband, of course, was all on board. You have to know. So he started reading books. He's a big reader of everything that he can get his hands on. So he started reading books on Kundalini practices and just different types of Tantra. And I happened upon the most amazing podcast, sorry, not next to you guys, by somebody who is one of my very favorite people on the planet. Her name is Davy Ward Erickson, and she does a podcast called Sex is Medicine. If you've never heard it, I highly recommend it if you are looking for some practices that can help you, or some education on practices, and really enlightening yourself on what the heck is out there. Because let me just tell you, there are a lot of different sexual practices, different, kinks and things that people get into that can really enrich your entire life, not just your sex life.
Okay, so I have a question then.
Sure.
So you mentioned that there's, of course, lots of kinks and things of that nature. So is there any that you were just like, yeah, okay, no, that's too far. Like, I can't educate, I can't help with that.
Right. Well, on occasion, since I've started my website and what have you, there are a lot of people out there looking for sexual favors always, So I get a job, I'll get a call at least once or twice a week about, hey, do you do hand jobs? Right? Okay. So I'm just like, no, but I'm an educator. If you would like for me to educate you on some topics that might help you help yourself, absolutely, I can do that. But there are also people out there have contacted me about calling them or being their dominatrix type person. I am a very powerful woman. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I don't mind telling people what to do. But on a level of, do I feel comfortable doing that part, being the dominatrix at this point? No. Not with somebody
Ooh.
that I don't know, not in my personal life. That's not a thing for me at this point.
Did you notice she said at this point?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. We picked up on that right away. So at this point.
At this point.
Asterisks.
Hey, you know what? All of these things that you learn, you take a little piece of each little thing that you learn and you build a practice upon it, right? Like just being a nurse practitioner, you learn little things, you learn little tips and tricks from people who, are your preceptors or people that you look up to. And you keep those in your little bag of tricks, and whenever you're ready, you just pop them out. So can I say that I'll never do that? No, I can't say that. Maybe one day somebody will entice me to do so. But at this point, that's kind of one of those things that it's kind of been like, that's my only one thing that I'm kind of sketchy about at this point, which is out of the scheme of the thousands of unusual things that I've come in contact with. That one is the only one that I'm just not as comfortable with. Just
She
something to
is
work on for maybe
one
later.
set of latex chaps away from making this happen. Just saying.
I'm telling
I
you.
know this.
Okay, well, here's a thought too. So Davy Ward Erickson has this podcast, and also she's my teacher of authentic Tantra. And she had a guy on there, and I always forget his name, but he's written books on how to do the knots for tying up people for bondage. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, like, this is just out of control. I can't do no way. But he said something in this interview that says there's nothing better than the serenity of surrender, right? And that stuck with me. So I started reading a little bit. Like, he has some books, and I wish I could think of his name. I can't think of it right now. But this guy, the way he wrote about how you give yourself to somebody and you just are relinquishing everything and you're putting your total and entire trust into them by letting them tie you up. And it just, that concept blew my mind. Like, who the heck's going to let somebody tie, what kind of kink feel great thing could you get out of that? But after reading about that, that's one of those things where, I'm just like, wow, there's serenity and surrender. That's a fantastic thing. Think about that. You don't have to worry about anything. You have nothing to think about. You just let it happen. You let pleasure come to you, given by somebody else who you feel safe with. That's fantastic.
Well, it sounds fantastic, but it also sounds scary as hell. I'm
Right,
like,
exactly. But again and again, that is not necessarily something that I teach ever, or, it's not like a participatory sport I'm engaged in immediately. But that's just that thought of that serenity and surrender. Because if you think about it, all sexual acts that you're in it with another person. Well, at the time, if you're going to think about it that way.
Usually.
When you're
so
having sex with a partner, you are allowing them into your ultimate intimate space, Like that's huge. You have to be able to trust them in your space. That's a thing.
nobody's going in my intimate space, so that's just nope. So here shut up. So
I call bullshit.
no, that I got multiple girlfriends that will be like, no, that's not a thing for him. So I'm just saying. And I don't care if that is your thing. That's cool. Like, not you, Ben. I just mean in general. I'm like, hey, man, I am not a judgy person when it comes to sex, but it's just one of those things. I'm like, nah, not for me. Just not.
Why do you think you feel that way about never wanting to have somebody in your intimate space, even though you've had women who've tried? Apparently, it sounds like. Why do you think that that's a thing for you?
One tried, and I didn't like it. So like,
Okay.
and it wasn't even like full blown. It was like there was pressure applied, and I was like, no. I instantly
Okay.
knew right then and there this was not a thing for me.
So
So
again, why that's what
no, I'll be 100% honest. Nothing went into the space. So you're right. I can't tell you
right.
that is the end game, but I could tell you right now that the touching, I was like, not cool, but like, okay, whatever. But as soon as pressure was applied, I was like, no. So there you go. I didn't need to know anything else at that point. So that's just how it went.
So again, a lot of us, myself included, I was raised in this big time, Christian home where you're taught that your private parts are dirty, right? Like you're not supposed to be touching them, or, religious beliefs, family beliefs, that kind of thing, your culture that you grow up in. But what if
Right.
somebody told you that they could work with you and that could be a pleasurable spot? So you're losing out on the ability to experience something. Can you hear
Well,
me
I
now?
would say, first of all, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I will tell you right now, first of all, I think if you're doing it right, your private parts are going to get dirty. So boom, shakalaka on that. Second of all, I would say the 50% that I am experiencing is pretty fucking fantastic as is. I don't need to add another 50%. So there you go. Nope.
Oh my
Don't need it.
gosh, Tom, you're missing
So
out on
that's
so
it.
many
That's
things
just
by
it.
saying that.
Yeah,
Tom, I agree with you, though.
you are right. I am missing out on it, and I have decided at 38 years old I am okay with missing it. So there you go. And again, I don't care if another guy is like, I really enjoy that. Good for you, brother. I don't care. And I don't mean like don't care, like he could talk about it. I'm just saying it's not going to convince me I need to do something. But so here's my question. So I've heard you say Tantra several times. So what exactly is Tantra, and what are some of the differences between the different types? Like you said Nia, you said Buddhist. So what is all that?
Okay, so being a student of authentic Tantra, which I am, Tantra to us means the weaving of light and form with sound. That's what we were taught. I am in a lineage-based Tantra education program. Well, I've graduated from, sorry. But our lineage is the Shangpa Kagyu lineage. So we have a Lama Tashi Dundrup. He is an amazing gentleman. He's in his 80s and he is the cutest thing ever. But Tantra to me is a holistic healing medicine practice. And what you can do is you use that communication as medicine, that ability to talk about sexual practices as a medicine. And with the Neo Tantra and some of the other Tantras that aren't lineage based, it's basic practices of breathing and it's all about, it's more about sex, period. Mine is more of a sex is medicine type of training. And we do a lot of meditation, whereas some of the other neo-tantras, so much, it's more about sex, just sex. And tantras versus sutras in Buddhism, if you want to look at it that way, you've heard of the Karma Sutra, right? That's
Yes.
yeah, most people have. Those are the written way to reach enlightenment. So a basic gist is that we want to all reach enlightenment, right? And in Tibetan Tantra, you reach enlightenment, or you get a glimpse of enlightenment every time you have an orgasm, which is fantastic.
No shit. I
No
agree with the
shit.
Buddhist on that. So,
Yeah. Tom's on board. Whatever it is now, you said
Tom is
enlightenment and
on
orgasm.
board.
Tom's like,
So
yes.
basically, one of the things that I practice with the tantra that I do, we call it the 5-element healing practices, right? So, and Buddhists have been practicing for thousands of years, so they have, they've got it down how to how to do things at this point in time. Like medicine in our sense that we know now, Western medicine is basically, it's a few hundred years old. It's not necessarily thousands of years old. And with the Tibetan 5-element healing practices, they are a way that your body and mind can get together and you address the root causes of illness, which there are 5 root poisons. Did you know this? 5 root poisons, guys. And those 5 root poisons are anger, jealousy, ignorance, pride, and attachment, which we all have, all of us. Even me as a tantrika, I'm still struggling daily with, I can't get my microphone to work sometimes, as evidenced by tonight. And so I'm attached to the fact that I need to get my microphone to work. Things like that. But
you said anger, and I immediately thought Tom, and I thought, oh, well, he's.
Oh yeah, I've seen Tom. He gets.
oh, I'm attached. Yeah,
People get attached. You get
I'm
attached to the
that.
craziest of things, like the fact that, okay, here's an attachment to you. I hate it that my husband squeezes the toothpaste from the middle and not from the bottom, and it makes me almost cry every day. It's just an irritating thing, and it's something that we have to deal with every day. That's my attachment. It's great stuff. I'm trying to make my attachments a little more light than they used to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand that, and I'll tell you why. And tell me where this falls on the 5 healings here, because that's a little thing that could easily be fixed. A big thing I don't worry about, like my house burns down. Okay, is everybody safe?
Mm-hmm.
I just have to deal with it. It's a huge thing, right? Like I couldn't. Well, unless it's something stupid that caused it, you can't deal with it. You just have to go with the flow. But squeezing toothpaste from the fucking middle, brah.
Yeah,
you
right?
could fix that.
It's exactly right.
See, that's why I get upset.
It's the most ridiculous of all things. It could be just easily remedied, but no. But so what we talk about in Tantra is healing your energy body, is getting your energy. And I know whenever some people will hear this, they'll be like, oh, hippie energy stuff, right? Well, I'm here to tell you right now, I am a totally, yeah, right. And I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. I don't care what other people say at this point in my life.
She's not attached to that.
Nope, not at all. I got that good. People all have their own realities to live in, and I have mine, and I love my reality. But circling back, whenever your energy body is bogged down with depression, everybody is depressed these days. Everybody has sadness. Everybody has all these outlets to look at, like Facebook, Instagram, and there's all these. Well, I have teenage girls, so this is a perfect example. They're always looking at these guys or these other girls that are all made up, or they're looking at these guys Instagrams that have these gorgeous women on them or what have you, and there's such a pressure for them to fall into that mold. And I don't appreciate that so much at my age. I don't want my children trying to, stress themselves out because they can't fit into a certain size clothes, or, and my kids are gorgeous. Just let me tell you, they're all my babies are beautiful people, regardless. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't want them stressing out over the fact that, hey, I need to look this certain way. I need to be this certain way. I need to just conform. super on the nonconformist side for the most part. Apparently, that's why I talk about sex to people all the time. And some people are really down for it, I'm going to say, but some people are super not. I make people uncomfortable a lot. I probably have done that to you, Tom, in practice when we're at work. I've probably done that to you in the past. Just started talking about sex stuff because I'm really
Tom?
Negative.
I haven't talked
Nah.
to you about Tantra at work?
No.
Oh.
No, you have. I'm saying it didn't bother me. Like,
okay.
first of all, PollyAnna and I think we jive. Like, we jive well. Like, I'm serious. The first time I met her, I was like, oh, I like her. Like, we get along. And second of all, I don't think that I guess I'm just very open. I could talk to anybody about anything. So when somebody says something like that, they're like, you would talk about sex? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Don't bother me. It just isn't something that bothers me. And I feel privileged because I had, not that my parents were like open hippies and like, hey, let's just talk about sex, but there wasn't that taboo on it.
Mhm.
It wasn't a bad thing.
Right.
They weren't, I don't want to say ignorant and somebody think I'm saying something bad about other parents, but my parents weren't dumb enough to think that teenagers weren't going to do something stupid. I guess let's put it that way,
Right.
you know? So they were just very open, like, hey, you shouldn't, but
Right.
if you're going to go down this road, here's the things you need to know, and condoms and safe sex and stuff like that. Again, never said you should, never was okay with it, but
Right.
at the same time, and I think this is part of the problem we have in society now, is they didn't say, well, we told him no, so we don't have to worry about it now. It was still a, hey, don't do it, but this is what a condom is, you know, like, and they had that talk. So I know I was privileged to have that upbringing where if I had a question, my parents would have never been like, why the hell did you ask me that? Like, it would have been like, well, that's what this is, or they would have talked to me.
Right.
And I knew that. So I think that's part of why sex isn't I don't want to say a big issue. It's just not one of those things like when everybody else is like, oh my God. Even in high school, I was just like, it's it's a thing. I want to do it, but it's it wasn't the end all be all.
I want to do it.
Well, no, I think, and look at a movie, like still movies nowadays. Look at movies from the 80s. You know, everything was like high school boys just want to have sex, and I'm not saying there aren't.
Oh yeah.
But I just was like, okay, cool. You know, it is what it is. I had a girlfriend. It wasn't a big thing to me. So that's why when you said you were gonna make me feel bad, I was like, no.
No, not you. Definitely.
Is she still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Ben, how about you? What was your parental experience? Sorry to put you on the spot.
There really wasn't a whole lot. No, you're fine. With my mom, there wasn't really a whole lot of discussion with it. My mom and biological dad were divorced, and I lived with him about the 7th grade year, and so I got the sit-down discussion, diagrams, everything, the type stuff. So, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't. I mean, I didn't really explore anything until even after high school.
Well, like with my daughters in particular, and some people just get floored whenever I say this, but with my oldest daughter, my son didn't want to have the talk at all with me, period. So, that was non-existent. He's like, no, Mom, not doing it. But my oldest daughter had a great experience, and we had, because think about this, what if you had this amazing person in your life that could teach you about how things should be, not like, again, you were talking, Tom, about how in high school there's this big pressure to have sex and whatever. So you're a teenage boy having sex with a teenage girl, and, statistically, men only last between 5 to 7 minutes, right? That's a statistic, factual. Women,
right. That's what you say.
It's true story, Tom.
So, yeah, exactly.
Shut up, Tom. You're right. Tom knows.
So, but for a woman to even get fully aroused, it takes 25 to 35 minutes, guys. Okay. Wrap your mind around that. So that is for her to be fully aroused to the point where, a guy, it takes him 2 seconds to get an erection, just a little warm wind blowing sometimes. But for women, they actually, that whole foreplay thing is the best thing. Think about it. It's a true story. You need to warm up the oven before you put a turkey in it, right?
Which makes sense.
Yes,
Usually,
I mean
yes.
it makes sense. So
I'm just
there's
saying.
all these girls out here that think that they're doing something wrong or because they can't have orgasms, they don't feel like they're satisfied sexually. Well, no kidding. It's because guys are over and done in 5 to 7 minutes and they're still just like, "Okay, I'm still over here."
Well,
So I had this talk with my daughter
oh,
about
Tommy Two Strokes are
finding
good.
out find out what your body responds to. See what you like. Figure it out. My parents would have absolutely, like my mom would have never in a million years encouraged me to explore my own body sexually, ever. Not a thing. So that's one of the things that I wanted to do for my kids was to be able to have that open communication, because communication is key in anything that you do, especially for you parents out there that have teenagers. You know this. They don't want to tell you anything. You're the enemy for the most part. My kids, though, are like, they won't leave me alone. They love to bug me. They love to learn stuff. So it's a common thing to see a bunch of teenagers, which just right before we started the show tonight, I had 4 kids sitting in my floor. It's just like, what are you going to talk about? What's going on? It's like, go away. Mom needs private time now. Get out. Which brings me to private time. Scheduling a date with yourself. When is the last time you've done that?
A date with myself?
Yeah, a date with yourself. Not with your wife, not with your significant other. A date with yourself. Have you ever done that?
Tom's like 5
Yeah,
minutes
right.
before we started, right?
Yeah, I would say, does every time I get in the shower count? I don't know what's going to happen.
Did you set up a sacred space in your shower, Tom? Did you introduce yourself to yourself, Tom?
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
I'm going to go with
Ben,
no.
I'm after you next. Just hang on.
No.
We're picking on Tom.
Oh, okay. I got you, Ben. I got you.
Picking on Tom is a favorite pastime on the Just Some podcast. I don't know. No, I will be honest. Well, since we're being 100% honest, I don't.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, I don't worry so much about me. That's
Right.
never been a problem for me to finish. So
Right.
I've always
True.
I've always been if you make the woman happy, she'll make you happy. Like that's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah.
So
100% agree.
What if you had the experience of learning how to separate ejaculation from orgasm? Because you do know that one is a parasympathetic response and one is a sympathetic response, right? Just as if you're breathing right now and you could stop breathing if you wanted to, just for a little bit. But if you had the ability to do that, to consciously stop the ejaculatory process, so you just don't do it, but you can still orgasm, and then you can have 15 orgasms in a sexual encounter. I'm not talking about one after the other. I'm talking about like in a 2-hour sex session. How great would you feel if you could have that ability?
I don't know. I'd be pretty tired.
I'm pretty sure I would go unconscious. So, like, I don't know if that's safe.
It is safe, and it's amazing. It's amazing to watch.
Whoa! First of all, I'm not watching anybody else do that. So there you go.
I'm just saying.
No, so I went without ejaculation after the vasectomy on doctor's orders for 10 days, and I will tell you that was fucking terrible. So you could take this advice, and like we're gonna have to no. That was terrible.
But there are specific Taoist practices that you can learn that help with that feeling of quote unquote blue balls, and you don't even I wish I had an ability to plug into you to let you feel what it feels like to be that multi-orgasmic and just build layer upon layer upon layer to just again where you are brushing that central channel of energy in your body and getting a glimpse of that enlightenment, that life without suffering, that most amazing feeling ever. And again,
see, I think that's a female thing.
Yeah, that's a girl thing.
Yeah, well, women can be multi-orgasmic. And you think it's a female thing?
Multiple times.
Yeah, I know. But there are some women out there that aren't having any orgasms.
Well, then their men are doing it wrong, or they're doing it wrong.
Well, right. But if you've only ever been with a man who's ejaculated in 5-7 minutes and you think that's what sex is about, your life is awful. I'm sure of it. Just a thought. I don't want to
I
cast.
would agree with you.
I
I
don't
mean,
want to
that's
put shame on people who don't have orgasms because that's not where I'm trying to be. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, having the ability to be multi-orgasmic is flippin' amazing. And for a guy, that's one of the things that I had always told my husband when, like even when we first started dating, I'm like, dude, I totally wish that you could be multi-orgasmic. And he's like, give me about an hour and I'll be right back.
Yeah. See, yeah, I got that refractory
Yeah.
period. Like,
Yeah, right.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like, no,
But what if you
no.
didn't have to have that? What if you could just lay in bed with your lady friend or your whomever your partner
no,
is?
lady friend. So
Okay, I'm
I-
just
I'm
saying
not-
in general, whomever your
I'm
partner
not sure that I
is.
could handle it.
But I'm just
I don't
gonna.
think I could handle it.
You can handle it, Ben. You can. I have total
I
faith
don't
in you.
know.
You can.
I'm telling you, one wears me out, and my wife, multiple is great. I'm happy for her. I've done my job, but
See,
You've done your job.
one, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like,
she keeps saying multiples. I'm like, no, I enjoy that 20 minutes in a sandwich. All right. I need that downtime. Okay. Because when you go through the Apollo space launch here, you gotta rebuild.
Yeah.
Okay. Like stuff has to happen.
You're so funny.
you got to refuel the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
You're adorable. But no, seriously, there are some Taoist practices that say that men should only ejaculate once a month, once every 8 weeks. Yeah, I know.
Incorrect.
Mind blown.
We're incorrect.
Yeah,
No, it's true because you're giving away your essence, right? Every time you ejaculate, it's your energy essence that you're giving away.
So
every
many
time.
jokes.
Washing right down the drain, Tom. Right down the drain.
I'm waiting for a baby to crawl out of it. That's how.
Oh my gosh, you're so ridiculous. I feel so bad for your wife right now.
Why?
She doesn't want drain babies. She doesn't want your drain baby, Tom.
She doesn't want your drain babies. Oh my god. So hey,
I just picture Tom like, and then I gave her my essence all over her face. Because that's Tom.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's okay.
Like,
drain babies though is
Drain
babies.
babies.
That's the hashtag.
drain baby.
She's got enough trouble. She don't need your drain babies. But
Oh my
again,
Okay, so legitimate.
Yes.
So how do you apply this? My brain is still reeling. So how do you work this in with a patient? How? Like if they
Okay.
bring it up, or is there like ways
So-
that we can
one
bring
of
up
the things
sex?
that I try, like also I do addiction recovery specialties. So what I teach a lot of them is because they've been traumatized their whole lives, a lot of them, the majority of them, right? And
Right.
traumas in our life are what make us who we are. That's, just like you said before, probably not ever going to have anybody touch in that area for you. People have traumas in their life, and it doesn't have to be, again, a trauma to me is not necessarily a trauma to somebody else. It doesn't have to be like a sexual trauma. It could be somebody said something negatively that affected you for over your entire existence, just something that you hung on to. So I teach a lot of meditation, a lot of breathing exercises. There's a wonderful lady out there. Her name is Carla Tara, and she came up with something called ocean breathing. She did not invent breathing, sorry, but ocean breathing, which is something that helps basically. It's deep breathing with a vibration on the exhale that helps stimulate that vagus nerve response. So it just relaxes you in a different way. I use that constantly with my patients because a lot of them also have mental health issues, anxiety, depression. So learning how to breathe, because we don't breathe as a society, we're constantly running and rabbit breathing. We don't stop and take a deep breath. And have you ever sighed in the day like, this day sucks, that kind of thing.
Frequently.
So your body, what you're doing there, your lungs, with that big deep breath, that sigh, you're releasing surfactant so that it lowers that surface tension, allows for better oxygenation in your lungs, and you're just chilling by doing something you don't even really know what the hell, why are you sighing, because you can't stand life right now. But yeah, that's one of the things that you do. And using that ocean breath, I use that, I teach that to people when I suture them, and they definitely giggle. I'm not going to lie. I'll do an example of the ocean breath for you shortly, but that has markedly decreased the amount of lidocaine that I ever have to use for patients whenever I'm suturing. They get numb a lot quicker, and it's great. But the ocean breath, do you want me to do it?
Interesting. Sure.
Okay, are you ready for this? So you
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're going to love it. You are. So your mouth would be open 2 finger widths. So you would put your fingers in your mouth, open it that much, and you inhale through your mouth and exhale through your mouth. And what you do is you make this noise. So you do a little descending at the end, and that vibrates that vagus nerve, which the vagus nerve, I don't know if you all know this, goes, I say, from the rooter to the tutor, from the bottom, so it innervates almost every part of your body, right? So, and that's why when you have diarrhea, you get kind of diaphoretic and all that stuff, because your vagus nerve is being engaged. That's it.
I would just like to point out one thing that, you said that if I ever sigh during my day at work, that's because I've figured out that releasing surfactant is better than releasing drain babies at work.
Oh my gosh, that's so smart, Ben. I really appreciate that.
So super smart. Thank you, Ben.
And another thing that I teach that I really want to hit home with for sure is being more sex positive in your speech during the day. Okay. How many times have you called Ben a dick, Tom?
0. He's my best friend. I would never say that to him. No.
What do you call him?
You are so
Do you have any penis names or,
No, I always say, Ben, you're my best friend. Thank you. That's what I say to him.
Oh, well, I refer to him as an asshole.
There you go. So what are you doing to your body but assigning a negative connotation to that, right?
Touche,
right? So in Tantra, we learn sex positive terms. So instead of saying penis, which is medical, like you want to kind of avoid that when talking about body parts, because what you want to do is be sex positive. So you want to say things like, for instance, penis is lingam in Sanskrit, and that means wand of light. Shazam. I know, right?
Lingam?
Wand of light.
The old wand of light.
Lingam means wand of light. And that, also vagina. People get a little skittish when you say vagina. I have a friend that says you're not allowed to say vagina at the dinner table, but we do it all the time. Vagina, there is a Sanskrit word called yoni, and that means sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about how many times a day you say, oh my God, that guy is a dick, or you're a pussy, or you are, like I call people vagina sometimes, like that's assigning negative connotation to your body parts that you shouldn't be doing, that you should think about it before you say it. And honestly, and these are things we don't think about ever, but that's exactly what we're doing, and it sticks with you. That's what happens to people.
So I shouldn't make up my own terms for. I'm gonna take my Aladdin and go to your cave of wonders. Like I shouldn't.
There
just
you go. No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I like
I figured
it, Tom.
You're gonna make a Harry Potter.
Very creative, Tom.
Old. Never mind. I'm stopping while I'm ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
So since we're getting here towards the end, and Ben has a special little thing he's going to want to do here in a second. We always do with it when we're interviewing guests. If there are any specific information, tips, tricks, whatever you want the advanced practitioners out there listening,
Words are hard.
yeah, words are hard. If you have any advice that you can distill down, like real quick, like if you take away anything, take away this, like what would it be?
The definite thought that meditation for people, and meditation doesn't have to be sitting on a cushion like a yogi that you see on TV. Any contemplative practice that you can get into that kind of shuts your mind off from the terrible life that you're going through or the problems that you're going through, find that, help somebody find that. Make sure that they understand that you may have seen this person the last 6 weeks, 5 different times in the last 6 weeks for belly pain, that you're not finding anything on them. Nothing's coming back as a red flag, but you know that it's stress behind it. Then talk to those people about finding other ways to manage that stress. And if it is a sexual practice such as Tantra or meditation in any form, that's the way that they should go. Most definitely. And teach people to breathe. For the love of God, teach people to breathe. Deep breathing helps. Stimulating that vagus nerve with singing, whatever you want to do, just that's paramount for making people feel better.
And don't call people dicks.
Don't call people dicks.
Apparently.
Find something else. Call them Toms.
What about penis? Can I call him a
Call
penis?
them Toms.
Call him Tom.
Can I call him a penis?
Oh. So if I take
Tom.
a bend later and wipe my PollyAnna, that's okay. Is it okay?
That's
Fucking
fantastic.
bunch of douchebags. There you go.
Oh
Yeah.
man, see,
All
that's
right.
another one.
Douchebag, that's not
Yeah.
a body part.
Tom.
So
It's
So,
assigning negative
all right.
connotations to the vagina. Stop it.
it's a douchebag. That's
Stop
not
it.
this. No, that's not a body
See,
part.
it
You
sounds
said
dirty
body
though,
parts.
right? But it sounds dirty
But-
when you say it, right?
Quit being a dildo,
Oh
Tom.
my
Yeah.
God, I love you guys.
Quit being a testicle sack, Ben. So there you go. So,
It's still a medical term. You got to be more
Yeah.
creative. That's it. Be more creative.
I'm going to show you how
Speaking of creative,
fist can
that's
be a
gonna slide
verb.
right into our last.
Did he just say we're sliding into something? What are we doing?
Wow.
Just kidding.
I was trying to, and then Tom just sliding fist, apparently.
Oh, all right.
See?
Don't
No, I
threaten
said
him
you-
with a good
you
time,
were-
Ben. Don't threaten him with a good time.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. So speaking of being creative, PollyAnna,
Yes.
we like to end every guest interview with a little segment that we call 5 questions.
No.
Join us on a journey into the inner psyche of our guest as we ask 5 questions. All right, 5 questions. Question 1. What is your favorite medical word?
Sphygmomanometer.
All right. What do you got to say about that, Tom?
I think that's a pretty good one. Like I was not prepared for that. I was prepared for something like
I was expecting.
I'm waiting for her to say like Tower of Pleasure or something like, oh, I don't know where this is. That she caught me. She caught me.
You
That's
said not to
legit.
overthink it. That's one of my favorite words.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
I'm just usually like, oh my God, that's stupid. No, that was okay. She got me.
All right. Question 2. If you could do any job in the world other than what you currently do, what would it be?
The Dalai Lama.
Is that a job?
Well, yeah, no, he's a government official for sure. Dalai Lama.
Shoot high, I guess. I mean,
I guess you can apply for it, I guess. I don't know if that's how it works.
I'd make a
but, I mean,
bitch
I'm
a
not
Dalai
Buddhist,
Lama.
but
it's got to be a lengthy interview process.
yeah. Couple thousand years in the making, huh?
Yeah.
So
All right.
that is a good one though. I mean, I don't think we've had anybody even come close to Dalai Lama.
No.
So
No, we've not. No, that's great. All right. Question 3. PollyAnna, think back to your first car. Was it a stylish ride or a rolling turd?
Oh my gosh, the rolling turd. It was a 1985 two-tone 4-door Chevette 4-speed.
Ooh.
Banging. It
whoa,
was awesome.
that's brutal.
I know, right?
That's almost like the Mirthmobile off of Wade's World right there.
I'm
Except
pretty
that was
sure
a
that my
pacer.
dad paid $500 for it, and he made me pay him back for it, just so you know.
Damn, that's fucking vicious. So,
Yeah, I know. It's
you should be like,
responsibility.
you're making me drive. You're making me drive a Chevette. You should be paying me.
Oh, no.
That's how
I
you
was
counter it.
I was super appreciative of having a car. That's it.
I'm sure. All right, question 4. If your house is on fire and everyone, including your pets, are safe, what's the one thing you want to get out of your house?
Oh man, that's a difficult one.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a tough one. That was a tough one. What would I want to take? I'm a picture person, so definitely pictures. I'm a huge picture person.
That is a very popular answer.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your memories right there, right? If you want to know the real truth, it would be my bed. Because I got one of those daggone Tempur-Pedic adjustable, vibrating, God love it beds. I love that thing, but I don't think I could carry it, so that's why I went with pictures.
Wow. No, I like the second answer. And I will said we have a Tempur-Pedic vibrating bed when I'm in it. Boom.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
You're so cute.
Why, Tom? Does it vibrate when you snore?
Yeah, that's
it. That's exactly.
To be
it
completely
right
fair, that is pretty much it. Yeah. And now the puppy snores.
All right. Question 5. You have $9.18 in your pocket. What all do you buy?
Lipstick for sure. That's it.
Okay, what color?
I'm more of a brownish mauve kind of lipstick wearer, but my grandmother always said never go out of the house without some lipstick on your lips, and right there. And it costs about $9 for a good tube, or a moderately priced tube of lipstick. So I won't say good tube of lipstick, but
so how much does a good tube of lipstick cost?
Listen, Tom, don't even get into it.
I don't think I want to know.
Your wife will make you cry with how much money she spends.
Oh no, she already did. She goes to Sephora all the time,
yeah.
so I already cried.
So you can, I mean, like you can get some lipsticks for $40 sometimes.
Fuck you!
I swear.
You meant to ask my wife because she uses this lip scent shit. I need to ask her what. Actually, I don't want to.
You don't want to know. Just let it go, guys. Let it go. Let it be a mystery of the universe to you. Okay.
See, I'm trying that breathing. So
yeah, try that breathing.
Try that breathing. Yeah, I'm trying to calm down right now. So
well, if at any point in time that you want to learn some Tantra stuff, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm just like nobody's putting anything in my cave of wonders. So
oh my gosh, that's just because you just need to. There's some practices that will help you relax. There are so many different ways. Men, there's like over 9 types of ejaculations men could have, or orgasms. I mean, sorry,
look,
I said ejaculation.
I got one type, and it's pretty fucking fantastic. So,
but what if it could be better, Tom? What if it could be better?
How could it be better? I got other shit to work on than improving the best thing in my life.
Oh
so
I mean, it could be so much better. And you know what? It changes you completely. It makes you into a stronger person. When you walk into the room, people know it because you have maintained that ability. True story.
So I don't know about Ben or any other guy, but after I
spill your seed.
you know that.
Yeah.
There you go. I look like a newborn baby giraffe on the National Geographic Channel. So
that
when you said stronger,
yeah, that might be
I'm like
because
all wobbly,
you are letting go of
because I'm fantastic.
You're letting go of too much of that chi energy because you're ejaculating too much. You need to slow it down, Tom. Give it a rest.
Yes,
let it take a break.
You're not the first woman that I've heard that from, PollyAnna. So
I gotcha.
That's too much life force. So yeah,
don't lose your chi. Never lose your chi.
Yeah.
Tom, we learned tonight that a finger in the ass is basically the same thing as a red power tie. So that's good.
Yeah, that's what she's saying, and I guess I'm sticking with the blue polka dots then, because
The red
Look,
power
PollyAnna,
tie,
I
Tom. You
trust
want the red power tie. Everybody wants the red power tie.
not that. Nope. Look, I think PollyAnna is fucking amazing. I love this chick, but I'll tell you right now, the day she's like, Tom, just slide it in there, I'll be like, nah, girl, we're good. There's literally no amount of bribing that is going to make me think that's a great idea. No. PollyAnna, is there anything else you want to end the show on?
What I would really wish that people would do is just to start educating yourself. Learn some things, learn something new. Make sure that if you are in a clinical situation and you notice your patients are having issues with intimacy, ask them about it. Ask them how you can help them to learn more about it. And again, breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathing is the best thing ever. You know, it keeps you alive and stuff.
That is a key factor. Yeah.
Most definitely. Always breathe.
Well, if you like this episode, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Just Some Podcast. You can find us on the web or at www.justsomepodcast.com. Our email, admin@justsomepodcast.com. PollyAnna, why don't you give them your social media stuff one more time?
All right. So you can find me at pleasurepathways.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Pleasure Pathways.
All right. Tom, anything you want to add?
No, for sake of editing purposes and not sounding like I'm doing something bad, I'm just gonna.
I wouldn't do that to you. Well, I mean, I would, but I'm not going to.
Dick.
I'm excited by this fact. Oh my gosh, I want to do this more. You guys have to invite me back.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah. I know the guy who sets this up, so I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I think I know a guy at the show. Yeah, we could probably make this happen.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod over at incompetech.com for use of some of the music in this episode. Hey, on that note, I hope everybody has a great week.
Hey, everybody, stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me.
It was great having you. We appreciate you.
She's got a pair of old jeans with a hole in the ass. Likes to watch guys watch as they walk past. Tight red shirt. It says love hurts and life's a bitch. Her nips are showing and it's right. She's got her nails done. Lead press on fun. Like the way she smokes and chews bubble yum. And I'm just falling overboard. Her skirt past her knees, just a little too far. She got a dream catcher tattoo and a knife scar. Drink Spoon's farm, a little short on charm. She's such a bitch. I got her number and she don't wear underwear. So she swears she got the top roots working with the bleach hair. And I'm just falling overboard. Tell me what's it gonna be? What are you into me? Don't you come on, baby, touch it and say, wanna make me cry. Mine's a drug tight, right. Dirty hot girl, love me tonight.